Well, hey y'all, welcome to Crazy Catfishing. I'm Stacy. Thanks for stopping by and watching. Hey, today I'm going to show you how I made this rod holders for my kayak. I catfish off of my kayak, and I need some rod holders that I can trust, that are sturdy and stable. I've fished off this kayak for about a year now, and I used my crate and PVC pipe bungeed on and zip tied on. It worked really great. It held up to a 5 to 10 pound catfish, but eventually I'm going to start running into some really big catfish, and I just don't think it'll hold it up. But I came up with this design. I think it's pretty cool, which anything that you make yourself is pretty cool, I think. But I call it the Superman. I think you'll understand why I call it the Superman once we get it put together. You can use these rod holders to drift with, to troll with, anchor up with, and to drag with. But it's fixing to come up a storm, and I need to get this done and over with, so let's get into it. Let's put this Superman together, let's paint it, and then we'll put it in the kayak, and then I'll talk to you about why I came up with the design and everything else. So I'll see you in just a second. Alright, so I already went and pre-cut everything just to make it a little bit faster. I also done assembled it, put it in the kayak, and made sure that it worked. I'm using schedule 40 PVC pipe, 1 1/4 size. And for this build, you're going to need 2 13-inch pieces, 2 3-inch pieces. The other one is stuck in this one. I can't get it back out. You're going to need 2 45-degree angles, elbows, and 2 T's that will fit onto 1 1/4-inch PVC pipe. Let's go ahead and get this put together, and we'll paint it, put it in here, and then we'll talk about it. Alright, so these are the arms that goes down into your flush mounted rod holders in the back, which I should have done mention that you're going to have flush mounted rod holders in the back of your kayak if you need them to be angled to the side of your kayak instead to the back of your kayak like most of them comes. Well, my kayak was plain. I bought the flush mount rod holders and put them in myself, and I angled to the side for this reason. If you want to see how I did that, go to below this video to my channel name, click on that. It'll take you straight to my main channel where all my videos are, and the install of the flush mount should be right below this video. And if you want to see how I installed the rear hatch to be able to put the flush mounts in, it's below that video. Alright, so these two are going to sit down inside of your flush mount rod holders. Then you take one of your T's, stick it on fairly tight, as far down as it'll go. Go ahead and take the other one, do the same thing. face you this way. It's easier. Alright. Now, where the T comes out, where this part comes out, you want to take one of your 3-inch pieces, stick it in there, make sure it goes in, and then you want to take your 45 degree and stick it on there. It'll look something like this. Alright, let's go ahead. This one already has the 3-inch piece already stuck in it. So all we have to do is stick it into the T. Alright, we're almost done. Now, you take your 14 3/4 inch piece. Now this piece might differ depending on the kayak that you have, because some are wider and whatnot. If you want to go with this design, this is just my design. I personalized it to fit my kayak, and you just slide one side in to the 45 and slide this in into the 45. Get her straightened up. And this is why I call it the Superman rod holder. It's shaped like the Superman symbol. Ain't that pretty cool? I think it is. I came up with a few other designs, but this ended up being the most practical. I'll talk to you about it here in a few minutes. But let's go paint this, let it dry. Hopefully it'll get dry before the storm gets here, and we can get it in the kayak. See you in a second. Shake it up, shake it up, shake it up. Make sure you shake it up real good, people. Alright, today I'm using Rust-Oleum American Accent 2x Ultra Cover paint and primer, gloss, Kona Black, bonds to plastic, wood, metal, and more. Shake it up a little bit more. Let's go to town. Now we just let her dry, and when she dries, we'll go put her in the kayak. Alright, so while that's drying, I thought I'd go ahead and talk to you a little bit about why I came up with this design and everything. You're probably thinking to yourself, well, why did you go through all that trouble to make a rod holder like that? You know, I could have used a Scotty mount rod holder, but I'll show you, I don't trust them. I just don't. But I'll show you right here why. Alright, so I have a Scotty mounted, or kind of a Scotty mounted rod holder up here in the front of the kayak on the side. And I done got my rod stuck in it. I'm trying to get as close as I can. And I'm just barely going to pull on the rod. And watch. I don't know if it'll show up. I don't know if you can see that, but it flexes. Well, when it flexes really bad when a catfish hits, because when they hit, they normally hit hard, and half your pole's in the water, and this whole area right here pops up almost, and I'm afraid it's just going to one day just rip this whole thing off, and I'm going to be out of a rod holder, out of a fishing pole, out of a catfish, and then I'm going to have holes in my kayak. And you might also be wondering, well, why didn't I just use the flesh mount rod holders? Well, as you can see, I got my rod in it. I'm going to pull on it. I don't know if you can see, but that flexes too pretty good. And like I said, I'm not putting too much pressure on it. So I got thinking, I'm like, well, how can I stop all that flexing? How can I distribute that torque, that pressure that's being put onto the rod holders and the kayak? And I came up with a solution. I'm stabilizing. I will connect both rod holders together, and that way the torque, the pressure is equaled out all across, and the kayak itself becomes the rod holder itself. So when a fish hits, it will so when the fish hits, it's all distributed all the way across, and it uses the kayak, which we all know kayaks are really buoyant, you know, they don't take much to move them. And not only that, if you've never catfished in a kayak, almost every time when one hits, you'll feel it. You'll feel a thud. Sometimes you even hear it. That, or all of a sudden your kayak will shift, or you'll just start spinning. And by equalizing this out, I believe it is going to intensify that sensation. I'll know for sure when I get a strike. But as soon as this gets dry, we'll put this in this kayak, and then I'll talk to you some more. All right, y'all. Well, they're as dry as they're going to get right now. It's pretty humid out here today. It's taking forever. But like I said, storms are coming. I've got to hurry up and get this done. There's one more step I recommend doing, and I'll show you what I mean, why. Well, let's take this piece, let's open this up, stick it inside here. Alright. It has just a little bit of a play in there, and once it's all assembled, when one side rod gets hit, it'll lift this side up and make that. I'm sure you can hear that. Alright. So what I came up with was, my wife, I guess in the craft section at Walmart, bought these adhesive foam pads. And they came in a stack about that high of many different colors. I don't know how much you paid, but I cut them in half. So they're only just about 3 inches wide. And I'll find the lowest point on this. Well, let me go ahead and take the backing off. And I chose black to match this so I didn't have to repaint it. But I'll find the lowest point on this. I'll pull this out, stick that on there, wrap it around, and then I'll take my scissors, try not to cut myself. And then I'll just cut the excess off, because if you overlap it, it won't fit right in there. Just like so. Stick it back in. Fits real good and snug. Won't move. So we'll do the other side the same way, and then I'll get back with you. Alright, and if we got that part done, we'll slide this one in. But we're not going to slide it all the way in yet. because in order to get this to fit in here, one side has to be up higher than the other one. Now I'm not gluing this together because I want to be able to remove this for transportation or whatever reason else that I might want to take this out. But just the pressure alone will hold this together. You don't need no glue. So let's get this in here. I'm gonna lift if I can remember. I need to lift this one up. And then push. It takes a little effort to get it in there, but once it gets in there, you're good. It's in there. I can pick my kayak up with it. The way that they're angled at each other, and with this bar connecting the two, it causes the whole kayak to be part of the rod holder. Like I said, I had other designs come up with. I really didn't want a 45-degree angle. I don't like my poles sticking up that high. I wanted it actually more at about a 20-degree angle, I guess you could say. My first design, I wanted to mount the flush mount rod holders the normal way and run a bar across like this and put the rod holders on top of this bar, but my kayak ain't wide enough to make it work out the way that I wanted it. My other design was this, but with an extension to give it that 20-degree angle. I would just put another 3-inch piece in here with a 45-degree angle, and then about a 14-inch piece of the regular pipe to hold the handle of the fishing pole. But when you're sitting in here and you reach out in order to pull the rod out of the rod holder, because it stuck out about way over here, you'd have to lean out the kayak to get the rod out. Even when I had the rod holders attached to my old crate, when a catfish hits and he's pulling, even then it's hard to get the rod out of the holder. So I ended up still going with a 45-degree angle. But by adding this and angling them that way, I dispersed all the energy all the way across through here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Stick your pole down in here. Nothing flexes no more, except for the kayak itself. So, this is my Superman kayak rod holder for drift fishing, trolling, anchor fishing, whatever you might want to call it, or whatever you want to use it for. But for me personally, I'll be using it for suspend drifting, and I hope you like it. Maybe it'll give you an idea to make one for your own, you know, however you might want to, for your needs. And thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Hey, I'll see you on the next one. Always Crazy Cat Fishing. Hey, make memories, go fishing. See you later.